Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Let's get this link shared out. Let's get brothers and sisters in the room. Today we're going into the book of Joshua. We might read a few chapters. I don't know. We're going to see how this goes. Like, sub, share the link. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. This is going to be a good one. We're going to turn it up a notch with regards to how we're studying the agenda going forward. Now that we've pretty much finished the New Testament scriptures, we will not be delving into Revelations. That's a little too deep for this type of Bible class. We're going into Joshua. Then after that, we're going to start from Exodus, and we're going to read through the Torah, except for Genesis. Genesis will be saved for a later date. Just like a Revelation, you might have to find one of my more advanced classes for that. Brother Yeshaya, shalom. Brother Emmanuel's in the building, shalom. This is about to be good. We're going to do a little bit of visual work today so that y'all can kind of visualize just how silly we are as a people. And just so that when we're going through these stories, it really takes shape for us. Hold on, y'all. Everybody get your Bibles turned to Joshua. We, of course, starting in chapter 1. I'll be reading in the ESV. Good see fine. That's right in the building. Shalom, brother. All right, we're going to get started. So it says, after the death of Moses, the servant of Yahweh, Yahweh said to Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' assistant, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now, therefore, arise and go over this Jordan, you and all this people, into the land that I am giving to them, to the people of Israel. Every place that the sole of your foot will tread upon, I have given to you, just as I promised Moses. From the wilderness and this Lebanon, as far as the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites to the great sea, towards the going down of the sun, shall be your territory. No man shall be able to stand before you all the days of your life. Just as I was with Moses, so will I be with you. I will not leave you or forsake you. Be strong and courageous, for you shall cause this people to inherit the land that I swore to their fathers to give to them. Only be strong and very courageous. Be careful to do according to all the law that Moses my servant commanded you. Do not turn from it to the right hand or to the left, that you may have good success wherever you go. This book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night, so that you, so that you may be careful to do according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened and do not be dismayed, for Yahweh your God is with you forever, wherever you go. I want to look at the wording here in verse 8, where it says, the book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do according to all that is written. For then you will make your way prosperous. You see that? And the story that we learned watching the Israelites try to get to their land is that they have different views on how they should be successful, despite the Most High continuously giving them carefully measured laws and commandments. This lets you know that if you want to find success, it has to be within the laws of the Most High. For the advanced readers, you know that when you seek after wisdom and you keep the laws of the Most High, it starts with temptation and it's rigorous. And that wisdom will try you by the crooked ways and put you through hell, essentially. And it kind of looks similar to what the Israelites are going through. They have to be put through hell, more so because they're wrestling with wisdom and righteousness than anything. But if you want your way to be prosperous, you have to trust the process, which is to know that when you come to serve the Lord, you got to prepare your heart for temptation. You got to know that wisdom is going to try you by the crooked ways. And we're going to see different ways that this takes shape throughout the narrative of the book of Joshua and in the Torah in general, especially when you deal with from the Exodus to the entering to the land. We see it happen with King David and Samuel and onward. So it's a reoccurring theme. It says, for then you will make your way prosperous. We could compare this to the parable of the sower, right? Remember the people that are sold on shallow ground, how when things get crazy, they're immediately offended and they run away from the truth because they weren't sold in deep enough to understand that it wasn't going to be easy. They thought everything was going to be given to them right away. They didn't understand there was temptation they were going to have to endure. And so what happens when it gets shaky is you start to think that maybe I should invent a way for myself and still call myself a follower of the Most High. All right, we're going to see how that plays out for these Israelites. And we'll see through the whole biblical narrative that that is not something that works for anybody. And if it seems to work for anybody, it's just so that an example could be made of them. And it's oftentimes a negative example, right? It says, and then you will have good success. Not when you find your own way, not when you worship other gods, but when you're careful to do all the things that are written in this Torah that the Most High gave us. So have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous. Be not frightened and do not be dismayed. What happens when you're afraid and you're dismayed and you're not courageous? You know, what are you not founded in? When you start to fear that the Most High's laws are failing you, how can you be steadfast in them? Right? So what do you become? Do you remain loyal or are you uprooted? For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. And Joshua commanded the officers of the people, pass through the midst of the camp and command the people, prepare your provisions, for within 3 days you are to pass over this Jordan to go in to take possession of the land that Yahweh your God is giving you to possess. And to the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half tribe of Manasseh, Joshua said, remember the word that Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded you, saying, the Lord your God is providing you a place of rest and will give you this land. Your wives, your little ones, your livestock shall remain in the land that Moses gave you beyond the Jordan. But all men of valor among you shall pass over armed before your brothers, and shall help them until the Lord gives rest to your brothers as he has to you. And they also shall take possession of the land that the Lord your God is giving them. Then you shall return to the land of your possession and shall possess it. And the land of Moses, the servant of the Lord gave you beyond the Jordan toward the sunrise. And they answered Joshua, all that you have commanded us, we will do. And wherever you send us, we will go. Just as we obeyed Moses in all things, so we will obey you. Only may Yahweh, your God, be with you, as he was with Moses. Whoever rebels against your commandment and disobeys your words, whatever you command him shall be put to death. Only be strong and courageous. So how many of you are familiar with how some of those northern tribes that were being mentioned there, Reuben and Gad, for example, wanted to stay back in their land? right? They didn't want to go over and help their brothers. They thought it was time to rest already. So we're kind of picking up for that place. And what I want to do is show a visual as to, where the brothers are as this speech is being given to them and why. So if y'all can see my cursor on the screen, let me know. Y'all see my cursor on the screen? You see this X right here in the upper left hand side? Let me know something. This X, this is the land of Canaan, and you see these arrows. You see this fat line that I drew in a pale red, like a translucent red. This is the original journey from Kadesh Barnea to Canaan. This is where the Israelites were initially told to enter into the land, and they refused out of fear. And then they changed their mind after the Most High told them don't go up to the land. They went up and tried to enter the land of Canaan the easy way. And then, who was it? It was the Amalekites and the Canaanites that came up against them. And then you see these arrows pointing downward. They chased them back all the way down the Hormah, the scripture says. So the Most High was with them. They didn't obey the Most High at first. They were told to go up into the land. They didn't go. That got scary. And then when the Most High said he wasn't going to be with them, they went anyway. And then get their ass whooped. Boom. Chased down the Hormah. That's where this first arrow points. And then they find themselves back in Kadesh Barnea. Right. Back where they started again. You see all this mountainous terrain right here? If they had listened to the Lord, they'd be able to avoid all this mountainous terrain, go straight up into Canaan, right through where Jerusalem will end up being. But instead, they get chased back down, wrapping around this mountainous terrain, and then they have to find another way. Now, because of their difficult behavior, because of their hard-headedness, they have to follow this thin red line. If y'all see this, they have to follow it, and they pretty much have to go around Edom and Moab. They're told not to go through there, right? Or even bother the people of Moab and Edom. So they have to go all the way around Edom, which is way, way south of Israel. They have to wrap around Moab, and they have to enter here where this small arrow ends at. I'm going to change the visual real quick. So right here, you'll see two blue circles. Two blue circles. Let me see it. Oh, I thought I was going to be able to zoom in for y'all. Unfortunately not. So there's two blue circles right here. And what this is showing you where the River Jordan is. All right. So remember that map, it wrapped around Edom. You see the route wrap around Edom. It wraps around Moab up until where you see these blue borders where it says Reuben and Gad. This is the land that Reuben and Gad end up getting. This is where Moses has to talk to them because they want to stay right here where the rest of the brothers and sisters have to cross over the Jordan River. This is where we're getting that speech from Joshua. We have to now cross over this region. But I want you guys to think about how simple this mission would have been if we would have obeyed the Most High the first time entering the land of Canaan. But instead, we had to make this big trek underneath our brothers the Edomites and around the Moabites and wrap around to this territory, right? We start all the way west from here. We disobey the Most High, we got to go the long way. Disobeying the Most High is really the long way. Being hard-headed against the Most High is really drawing things out for us, even today, in the sense that we're not waiting for him as much as we're waiting. He's waiting on us. My bad. You see that? He can make our route smooth, and we're the ones that make our route difficult, right? And I want you to keep that imagery in mind. So we're getting ready to pass over from the land of Gad and Reuben into Jericho. This little gray land mass that's just above the Dead Sea. You have what's going to end up becoming Bethlehem, right? And then you go up past that and you get the city of Jericho. That's where we're about to cross into. So we're going to keep on reading. So we are now in Joshua chapter 2. And Joshua the son of Nun sent 2 men secretly from Shittim as spies, saying, Go, view the land, especially Jericho. And they went and came into the house of a prostitute whose name was Rahab, and lodged there. And it was told the king of Jericho, Behold, men of Israel have come here tonight to search out the land. Then the king of Jericho sent to Rahab, saying, Bring out the men who have come to you and who entered your house, for they have come to search out all the land. But the women had taken the 2 men and hidden them. And she said, True, the men came to me, but I did not know where they were from. And when the gate was about to be closed at dark, the men went out. I did not know where the men went. Pursue them quickly, for you will overtake them. But she had brought them up to the roof and hid them with the stalks and flax that she had laid in order on the roof. So the men pursued after them on the way to the Jordan, as far as the fords. And the gate was shut as soon as the pursuers had gone out. Before the men lay down, she came up to them on the roof and said to the men, I know that Yahweh has given you the land, and that the fear of you has fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land melt away before you. For we have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea before you, when you came out of Egypt, and what you did to the kings of the Amorites, who were beyond the Jordan, and Sihon and Og, who you have devoted to destruction. As soon as we heard it, our hearts melted, and there was no spirit left in any man because of you. For the Lord your God, He is God in the heavens above and on the earth beneath. So I want you to imagine how our reputation and the Most High's reputation precedes us. All right. She knows that the Most High is with us. But think about how often we had to forget that the Most High was with us through the whole journey. You see that? Why is it that the Most High gets a more, it almost seems like at times he gets a more complete reverence from the people who hear from afar as opposed to the people who he's intimate with, the people who he sent his prophet for. You see what I'm saying? You see how cold that is? So she understands what's going on. Her people understand what's going on. And they're always fighting against the Most High. You see what I'm saying? This woman has the notion that I should just go ahead and get down with these guys. But the Israelites are always trying to find a way to buck up against the Most High. Or even discontinue from the people so they could have their own. Isn't that crazy? So it says, as soon as we heard it, our hearts melted, and there was no spirit left in any man because of you. For the Lord your God, He is God in the heavens above and on the earth beneath. Now then, please swear to me by the Lord that as I have dealt kindly with you, you also will deal kindly with my father's house, and give me a sure sign that you will save alive my father and my mother, my brothers and sisters, and all who belong to them, and deliver our lives from death. And the men said to her, Our life for yours, even to death. If you do not tell this business of ours, then the Lord gives us the land, we will deal kindly and faithfully with you. Then she let them down by a rope through the window, for her house was built on. My bad, y'all. For her house was built into the city wall, so that she lived in the wall. And she said to them, Go into the hills, or the pursuers will encounter you, and hide there 3 days until the pursuers have returned. Then afterward you may go your way. The men said to her, we will be guiltless with respect to this oath of yours, that you have made us swear. Behold, when we come into the land, you shall tie this scarlet cord in the window through which you have let us down, and you shall gather into your house your father and mother, your brothers, and your father's household. Then, if anyone goes out of the doors of your house into the street, his blood shall be on his own head, and we shall be guiltless. But if a hand is laid on anyone who is with you in the house, his blood shall be on our head. But if you tell this business of ours, then we shall be guiltless with respect to your oath that you have made us swear. And she said, according to your words, so be it. And then she sent them away, and they departed. And she tied the scarlet cord in the window. They departed and went into the hills and remained there 3 days until the pursuers returned. And the pursuers searched all along the way and found nothing. Then the 2 men returned. They came down from the hills and passed over and came to Joshua the son of Nun. And they told him all that happened to them. And they said to Joshua, truly, Yahweh has given all the land into our hands, and also all the inhabitants of the land melt away because of us. We're going to read chapter 3, and we're going to finish up here. It says, Joshua rose up early in the morning, and they sent out from Shittim, and they came to the Jordan, and all the people of Israel, and lodged there because they passed over. At the end of 3 days, the officers went through the camp and commanded the people, as soon as you see the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, your God, being carried by the Levitical priests, then you shall set out from your place and follow it. Yet there shall be a distance between you and it about 2,000 cubits in length. Do not come near it, in order that you know the way you shall go, for you have not passed this way before. Then Joshua said to the people, consecrate yourselves, for tomorrow Yahweh will do wonders among you. And Joshua said to the priests, take up the ark of the covenant and pass on before the people. So they took up the ark of the covenant and went before the people. And Yahweh said to Joshua, today I will begin to exalt you in the sight of all Israel, that they may know that as I was with Moses, so will I be with you. And as for you, command the priests who bear the ark of the covenant, when you come to the brink of the waters of the Jordan, you shall stand still in the Jordan. And Joshua said to the people of Israel, come here and listen to the words of Yahweh your God. And Joshua said, here is how you shall know that the living God is among you, and that he will without fail drive out from before you the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Hivites, the Perizzites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, and the Jebusites. Behold, the ark of the covenant of Yahweh of all the earth is passed over before you into the Jordan. Now, therefore, take 12 men from the tribes of Israel, from each tribe a man, and with the soles of the feet of the priests bearing the ark of the Lord, Yahweh of all the earth, rest in the waters of the Jordan. The waters of the Jordan shall be cut off from flowing, and the waters coming down from above shall stand on a heap, meaning that he's going to part them like he did the Red Sea. It says, when the people set out from their tents to pass over the Jordan, with the priests bearing the ark of the covenant before the people, and as soon as those bearing the ark had come as far as the Jordan, and the feet of the priests bearing the ark were dipped, as soon as the priests bearing the ark were dipped in the brink of the water, now the Jordan overflows all its banks throughout the time of harvest. The waters coming down from above stood and rose up in a heap very far away at Adam, the city that is beside Zarethan, and those flowing down toward the sea of Arabah, the salt sea, were completely cut off, and the people passed over opposite Jericho. Now the priests bearing the ark of the covenant of Yahweh stood firmly on dry ground in the midst of the Jordan, and all Israel was passing over on dry ground until all the nation finished passing over the Jordan. That's going to conclude our reading today. But I want y'all to leave off with the imagery in your mind, the map we went over, the way that we could have gone to go into the land, the route we had to go back to where we started, and how we had to wrap all the way around the territory of the other nations to get to the point where we're reading that now, where we're crossing over the Jordan River. And I want to look at how many times the Israelites proved to still be hard-headed as they're getting these victories and this success under the dominion of Joshua. Let me see. Sometimes you get comfortable with the camera and forget that it's always watching. Freddie Jackson. Shalom, not to disturb your lesson. Are you aware of what happened to the brother Gideon? Nah. Which Gideon? Are we talking about Gideon from WFI? Or are we talking about, I don't even know if you know the other Gideon that I'll be referring to. But either way, nah, family, it's good to see you, Joshua. We're going to go into Q&A. I'm going to put the little timer in the chat. If y'all have any questions, we'll get into the questions. If not, we'll get up out of here. Shalom, Azariah, Elder Mashah, Shalom, Bar Yala, Shalom. As long as you was able to see the maps, all praises. You got your sister Tazanai, Yeshaya's rib is in here, all praises. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Big North, Big South, shalom. Well, look, man, my own voice is making me yawn. So if y'all don't have no questions, we done for today. Just be ready to come back next week. We had a good turnout. I'll pray it's just as good next week. We're going to pick up from Joshua chapter 4, and we're going to see what we can glean from these texts as per usual. Going once, going twice, going 3 times. With that, we're giving all praises to the Most High. In the name of His Son, and Shalom.